What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Power Morphicon, Day 1, 2024. Who's excited? How you holding up? I mean, it's Day 1. Good? Oh, no, Day 2, right? Day 2.
It's Day 2.
Day 2. I'm sorry. I feel like it's still Friday. Well, welcome to the Prop Maker panel. This is going to be an exciting panel, especially for you up-and-coming prop makers or cosplayers or just someone interested in getting started. We have a great group of panelists that would be glad to answer any of your questions. So let me do this right now. I'm going to set up the mic right there, so when it's time to ask questions, we'll have you all line up. And so if you have any questions about cosplaying, making some props, or making some sets, these are your people to talk to. Give me a second. My name is Jezza Reyes. You may or not know me. Worked for the Illuminati, that hashtag show, and more recently Screen Rant. But we have an amazing, Daniel's still setting up, amazing group of panelists that will be glad to tell you their stories and definitely maybe help you on your way to making some amazing Power Ranger props. So first to my left, if you are on Ranger Talk, if you are on any of your social media videos, Miss Beauty Baba Yaga, I've got lost so many times in some of the conversations you're having with the community. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you are a big Power Ranger fan film, you love all these action and fan films that kind of carry on the Power Ranger lore past the IP. Danny from We the Geeks of East LA is no stranger to any of you. So thank you so much for joining us, Danny.
Thank you for having me.
And another prop maker that we have here, I just met today. Oh, can you introduce yourself?
So my name is Kevin Tan. I recently just started getting into prop making, just out of complete COVID boredom, honestly. So this is one of mine right here that I brought today, based off of the Power Rangers Dino Charge Blaster. It's a working blaster as well, so heads up.
There's no splash zone over here. What's going on? And last but not least, the guy that put this all together, Mr. Daniel Prime. All right, so first off, I'm going to start with you. What got you into cosplay and prop making and this whole world, especially within the Power Ranger universe?
I feel like, as with all obsessions, it happened gradually. I don't know if that's true. Sometimes people, it's just like a clap of lightning. I love to dress up. I've always loved to dress up. It's my fave. I have so many clothes, you guys. You have no idea. So I one day was like, wouldn't it be great if I could do like sort of Han Solo inspired fashion? Because that'd be fun for me. Because I'd be like, oh, I look like Han Solo, but not really. And people might be like, oh, this is like a Star Wars vibe. And I Googled that dude, and his costume is the simplest thing you've ever seen in your life. It's literally just blue pants with a red stripe, a white button-up shirt, and a blue vest. And I was like, oh, well, never mind, I'll just dress as Han Solo, just straight up. And I went on Amazon and bought those 3 things and was like, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. This is great. I'm gonna do this with everything. So I started like Googling all these characters I wanted to dress as. And then of course, it's a slippery slope. It's like, well, I could do this one if I just cut this part in half and hem it. Or, what if I bought some paint and just painted the sleeves black? And then what if I got some EVA foam and built myself a little chest piece and completely altered a hat and sewed little circles all over a tulle skirt, and then you're making ridiculous cosplays.
Can we just admire how amazing this costume is? You had told me that you have showed it to Campbell Cooley over on the floor. What was his reaction to all of this?
We blew Campbell's mind. So I'm here with my parents. They're right there as Human Slither and Mushroom Mucus. My mother and I made all 3 of these cosplays together. She bought a lot of the pieces, and I did all the EVA foam work, and she painted some things, and I sewed some things. We went to see Torum and Campbell, and their tables are right next to each other, which is perfect. And they were just like giddy. And then Campbell was like, I don't even know if I can sign something right now because my brain is just like spinning. He was like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. I was like, I feel like people should cosplay you more because you're so prolific and so awesome. So I'm surprised it took him so off guard, but it was really very sweet.
That's amazing. Now that you mentioned that your parents are here, and they're actually cosplaying as well, when jumping into the cosplay world, were they on board 100%?
Oh yeah. So, I just had this conversation with someone. I introduced myself to them by my birth name, and my birth name is James. And they were like, "Is that really your name?" And I was like, "Yeah, my parents are fun." So.
Boy named Sue comes to mind. I'm from that generation, guys.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, my parents are wonderful, and I love them very much.
Now, Daniel, as a parent, will you follow in the footsteps of James here and encourage your daughter to jump into the cosplay world and maybe make some fun costumes as a father-daughter duo?
The answer is yes. And so she loves cosplay. She is just a fan of the whole world, this genre. But the thing is, she has this where conventions are coming up. We have like a year to plan because we always know when we're going to do these. In this case, 2 years to plan for this convention. And she has that attitude of like, no, it's okay. I don't want a costume. No, I don't want a costume. So we come to the first day, and she sees which Rangers are here that she met last time. So we go home last night, and she goes, "Hey, Dad, I need you to make me a Pink Ranger costume from Cosmic Fury, like tonight." She doesn't understand how long it takes to put something like this together, even though she sees me every day in my shop, like blood, sweat, and tears. This guy, he knows, we're in our shop like all the time, just grinding them out to the last minute, but then she just doesn't, it still hasn't caught on.
It'll take time. It'll take
But
time.
she wants to do this. So she actually is creating her own Power Rangers series, like, as we speak.
Oh, okay. Now, Daniel, not a lot of people know this. So I got introduced to you through Power Morphicon 2018, which we had in Anaheim, and you had built the Megazord cockpit for us, which was an amazing work of art. Definitely not fun bringing it into the convention and bringing it back. I do remember a late night of bringing it back to your house and leaving it at your house, and it's still there. It's still there.
A version of it is still there. So a funny thing about that story is I remember we had 5 days to build this thing. So his group that he's affiliated with finally pulled the trigger on, let's build this thing. 5 days till the convention.
Sorry.
Yeah. And we're like, we can do it. We 20-hour nights we were building this thing. And I would send update photos. So the first update was like the framework. And I remember hearing back later, like, Jezer just doesn't see it. He's like, these guys are... I do specifically remember, like, we really just met, getting to know each other. I'm getting to know who the team members are that... He's like, are you sure? I mean, these guys, no. I want my money back.
Oh, man, he's exposing me right now. I'm a believer. Don't worry, I'm a believer. Yes.
When I get this thing going again,
yeah,
we have a skit that we collaborated on that kind of showcases what we do with the props to kind of hopefully inspire you guys that this can be more than just a costume. Mm-hmm. It can be something in one of your really simple productions.
Yeah. So there's multiple people in this collaboration. How long did it take you guys to put this all together and, to get to the finished product?
Beauty, when did I reach out to you? Like 3 weeks ago?
I have no concept of time.
Okay. I feel like we really got the ball rolling about 3 weeks ago. And keep in mind, so the guy that was with the Green Ranger coin, he's from England. So we're in different time zones. We're in different states. Everyone in there, except for me. I'm the only one local. Everyone else is from another part of the world. So that was fun. Take one beat, could you take a stand, please? Because you really made this happen. So this guy, without what he just did, as simple as you guys think it was, we wouldn't have been able to even see the skit. So thank you for that. I appreciate you.
One cool thing that I've noticed from the video is that very unique and new character, the Chicken Ranger. Is there a story behind this?
My friend online, Robert Coda, he says he likes to draw Power Rangers OGs for people, and he asked what animal I would want and what color I would want, and chickens. I have chickens. I love chickens, and I was like, okay, well, yellow rangers are the best, and I love chickens, and there's no chicken Power Rangers, so we need one. So draw me a yellow chicken. And I was like, oh, he'll just draw me this, and I'll post it, and I'll talk about how cool it is, and it'll be fun. And then, of course, it was so awesome that I was like, oh, I have to make this now. So I asked him if he was okay with me making it. He said yes, and then I finished it at the beginning of the year, but actually the one that appears in the video is different from the one that I was wearing yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw me. Because I made it, finished it, filmed everything I needed with it that night, because I had a thing the next day that was going to make it so I couldn't film in it anymore. And then I washed it because I didn't want it to get musty if it was sitting around. But I had finished it so recently that the paint was still wet and all the colors folded into it and like bled through the lines. It was sad, but at least I got the pictures first. So Prime's idea was, my character in this skit has just been in a fight, so I wore the one that I previously had because it's damaged because I just got beat up. And then of course I had to make a new one because I filmed some stuff with it this weekend. People were like, are you gonna bring the Chicken Ranger outfit? So I literally painted a new one last Thursday or something. And then I set it somewhere away from everything and I was like, this is going to dry completely before anyone touches it for any reason. And it did, and it's fine.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, Danny, I was introduced to you maybe 3 Power Morphicons ago. I know there was one cosplayer that was always dressed as either Lost Galaxy Red or Red Dino Charge, with the shield. Can you tell us how you got into cosplay and prop making, and what opened you up to this whole world and that has taken over your life?
I started cosplaying. Do you guys remember? Those from LA, Kamikaze.
Yeah.
That was so. When that con was brand new, I went. I saw people walking in costumes, and I was like, huh. Before I go in there, I want to dress up. So I put together an Ash Ketchum cosplay, and I walked in there, and I was just blown away by cosplayers, and I was like, man, I want to suit up as a hero or something. And so I looked at Power Rangers, and I was like, oh man, what can I put together to be a Power Ranger? And I put together a Green Ranger costume. And then my dragon shield wouldn't stay up, so I put I thought of the idea of using copper wire and sewing it into the shield so it stayed into place, and that's when I was like, okay, I really like this. I think I can do more. And I think I did the Green Ranger foam, and I called it the Dragon of Nightmare, and that's
remember
when
that, yeah.
that's when I was getting into crafting, and then as the years went by, technology also grew, and now I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a 3D printer is, and now that just works wonders, but that's also a craft in itself, if you're a
sorry, what was the topic then?
Gone to 3D printing, and your specialty now.
So 3D printing has, as of late, become my newest obsession. As you see, I'm very affinity towards blaster-related items with this Nerf blaster here, and with 3D printing, it opened up a lot of that. And one of them was Nerf blasters, and then obviously prop making. And right now, this is a preview. This is a straight-up preview of what I'm about to be revealing at potentially next Morphicon. Is that I will be having some functional Nerf blasters based off of Power Ranger props. So right now I am just about finished with making the Quantum Defender, which will be online eventually. But I will be having a small line as of right now of functional Nerf blasting Power Ranger props.
Where can we follow your progress on all this?
As of right now, I'm not posting any progress right now. My personal Instagram is Kevin_Wonton. If I do have a progress Instagram, I will be sharing it with all of you. That way you can share it, because I'm not big on like sharing myself, because I'm very shy on social media. In person, I'm one shy on social media because I don't like showing stuff.
Yeah, we'll be keeping our eye out. We'll probably maybe next Power Morphicon there'll be a convention-wide Nerf battle with Ranger guns, Ranger blasters. That'd be amazing.
That's what I'm hoping for. No one tell Scott.
No one tells Scott yet.
No
It'll
one
be a
tell
surprise.
Scott. No one tell Scott.
So if you guys are at the convention tomorrow, be sure to check Kevin's booth. He has a bunch of blasters and a bunch of targets, and I think it's $10 to shoot, and you can win a prize. Or $10.
Yes. So I have a booth in the back corner on the left side of the entrance. So there's free play, so you can just shoot, just to have some fun, but you can also win some prizes as well with certain price brackets. So you can just shoot to have fun and hang out, or try to win. Actually, you can actually try to win one of these blasters. I do have some of these blasters available.
It is possible. There was a.
Yeah, I've had 3 winners so far. One was a 12-year-old during VIP hours. He got 15 out of the 12 needed shots. And then we got 2 other adults that won them as well. So it is absolutely possible. I'm making it easy I'm trying to make it easy for everyone to win something.
And you can come shoot for free also. It's a great time.
So unfortunately, I have to go. I have been told I have some special people at my.
He has a
booth, so I have
VIP
to
at his
go.
panel, at his booth.
Thank
right
you
now.
for showing up.
Thank you so
have a
much.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you.
I think this question could go to all of you. When it comes to prop making and cosplay, when you're, especially for the Power Ranger universe, we all know that a lot of repurposing of household items or things that we've seen. I guess that happens in Star Wars also. We've seen they can repurpose and turn into something else. Is there anything interesting that you guys have repurposed and turned into something more amazing?
I have used gallon milk jugs to create the puffy shoulders for a Glenda dress because I needed something to hold the fabric up. So I just sewed the top of them to the dress so they were kind of like a flap, and cut a part out for my shoulder to fit in, and then just wrapped it in sparkly fabric. And it worked really well, actually. You couldn't really tell that they were gallon milk jugs, so win.
Pretty cool.
I have a really funny story. So my first real costume that I actually made money dressed up as Optimus Prime on Hollywood Boulevard in this costume, and I used trash cans from the aisle, going down the aisle at Home Depot, because I just wanted to get this costume done. I was inspired by Bumblebee. They're not cosplayers on Hollywood Boulevard, mind you. These are not cosplayers. They're making $1. But I didn't know that. I thought they were just people like me, eccentric, and just wanted to be out there in costume. So I see this Bumblebee guy, and I'm like, oh, I got a new friend. I gotta go make this new friend. So I went to Home Depot that Friday and worked, and I bought trash cans and just spray painted them the colors of Prime. And I went out there on the boulevard with these big trash cans on my legs, and it was so not functional. But it worked. People got the feel for it, and then I started to understand like form and function, and that led me to like 9 versions of the costume later. And hence why I go by Prime is because Optimus Prime was my first real attempt at cosplay that people started to not just appreciate, but inspire me to do better builds. So taking criticism is a huge part of this industry. Like being able to take someone who is like, listen, you're kind of there, but you're crap. Because that literally happened to me. This dude was just like, dude, you look like trash. And I was like, you know what? He's not wrong.
We'll go back to that, but how about for you, Danny, for repurposing some products?
I buy toys, and then I make them look like the props from the TV show. So it's simple little paint jobs here and there. But a good story is I was doing a Power Rangers alien thing, and with Men in Black, and I really wanted the what is it, the neuralizer?
I made that for him.
And I, those things are so expensive, but they're so cool. They look so cool.
You want me to tell him what I did?
Yeah, I was getting to that. And they're so expensive, they're so cool, and I was like, I don't have money for this. So I hit up Daniel and I was like, hey man, listen, I'm trying not to spend so much money on this. Can you help me with this prop? You can take over it.
So I was like, I got you. I went and got at the
Very
dollar.
scared where this is going.
I went to the dollar store and I got a toothbrush, an overnight toothbrush container. So you know, it's 2 parts and it just holds a toothbrush. So it had basic shape, and I just wrapped it in a chrome vinyl wrap. And he added so many effects to it. It
added a light effect and in camera, it looks just like it.
looks like a neuralizer, and it was just a toothbrush holder.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you mentioned with cosplay, apart from taking the time and making something that you thought in your head and were able to make a final product, comes sometimes the negativity of like the reception of it. How do you deal with that, and how do you like keep going forward after that?
I feel like a lot of times when a cosplay is received negatively, you already knew that it was not great. Like, you know, unless it's the first one you ever made and you weren't expecting, like that people might say, oh, well, that's not screen accurate or whatever. I feel like you kind of are aware this is not my best work. So if someone says something, you just kind of like, maybe they're being rude and it's okay to be like, they're a crap person, but you can also be like, they're right though, so I'm not gonna take that to heart. I already knew that. Just move on, learn from it. But I also am like big in the camp of like cosplay's for fun, and we all just do it to have a good time and to look like the characters that make us feel powerful and make us excited. And I love cosplay so much, you have no idea. I see cosplayers and I just like look at the things that they've done and I'm like, oh my god, this is ingenious. One of my favorite cosplays I ever saw was a guy, all he did was he got a red morph suit and he had different colored electrical tape and permanent marker, and he turned it into a turbo suit and drew like the little thing on the front with tape, and it was like peeling off in one corner, and he had like lines that he had made with a permanent marker. From 20 feet away, that thing looked exactly like the suit from the show. And then when I got up close to it, I was like, you're a genius. You're a genius. This costs like $30. You look amazing, and I see how much work you put into it. I love that. So I'm big on like, don't criticize someone unless they ask for feedback. Because, all cosplay is beautiful and amazing, and that person put work into it, so.
And to piggyback off that, because that's true, like, dude, my first cosplay was something I put together from the closet, and I felt like the character, and I felt powerful, and I feel like as a cosplayer and prop maker, you take pride in your work, so to you, as you're working, it's the greatest thing in the world, because it's you and you're doing it and you're seeing the progress and you love the progress. And to somebody else, it's like, dude, that looks like crap. And it's like, it's really discouraging, And I've been in those shoes where they've told me, oh, dude, you look like crap, And it's like, cool, thanks. But you know what? I took the time and I know the work that went into this. So I am still going to be proudful, and I don't care about your opinion. Because, we've said cosplay is for everybody, and cosplay should be fun. And everybody has different levels of creativity, and that's okay, because you're being creative.
Respect. I mean, my first Power Morphicon cosplay was an Alpha 5, and it was salad bowls, duct tape, and Mickey Mouse shoes, so.
And it looked awesome, I remember.
He's being modest. He knows what he's doing with the costume.
No, I haven't done it in a long time. We do have a mic in the middle, so you guys want to line up, and then when it gets to that time, we'll answer some questions. You can, you can start. You have a question?
Well, like I wanted to see some. I know you have a dimensional transport sitting on the table. Can I just have a quick look at that?
Just so you know, this is Chip approved. He, while you're looking at it, yes, you can. I have those at my booth. I'm not trying to plug it, but I do have those if you want to take one home with you.
I want one.
Are you being serious right now? I'm not sure if we're joking or if we're being serious. That wasn't me. I respectfully apologize that that happened to you. I know that that's really horrible in the community when people like steal your work, but I 100% am not that person. I don't go by Deca. But I understand. Okay, so this is a real thing that, guys, this really does happen in our community. It's so small. People will like take your work, they'll buy something from you just to reverse engineer it and completely take it. And they won't give you credit. I know exactly where he's coming from. It hurts. And it hurts hard. So I'm really sorry that happened to you, brother. All right. Well, we hope that these things sell, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I'm a huge fan of these unique items that don't exist where we can buy them, and I just make them for me, and then I make a few extra and hope that maybe somebody wants one. But that's it's all for, like we said, it's for fun, it's for cosplay, it's to express yourself in ways that we can't in the real world. We come here and we get to meet each other every 2 years, and sometimes now get to be in skits with each other. It's a lot of fun. I love this community.
Next up, your name and your question?
My name is Jonathan. I was wondering, have you guys ever been on the sets of Power Rangers, and have you ever made like the outfits for them or any props for the show?
So sort of. I have been on a fan series where one of the actors reprised his role. And so if you guys are familiar with Psycho Red, I got to make the Psycho Red saber. And so the actor, Patrick, who actually never got to touch the saber, show up and present him this, I thought, masterpiece. I fell in love with it. I didn't want to give it to him. So I presented it to him on set. He grabs it, and he's so excited that he's like for the first time holding his weapon. And we're in 100-degree California weather, sun 12 o'clock, and he's so excited. And we have a overhead. What do you call those things? I'm spacing out. No, a tent. Like we have one of those like pop-up tents. And he's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm really not a voice actor. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wait, how do you wield one of these? Is this a saber? Is it what is it?" And he just goes and he knocks the whole top inch off of the. Haven't had a chance to film with it yet, and he broke it with it. And I was like, "Oh my, what do you say? What do you?"
He was just super excited.
Yeah. And then also, I just got back from India, so I got to do a production design for a Bollywood that will hopefully come out at the end of this year. That was a lot of fun. So yes, I have got to. With the Bollywood, it was for one of their legendary heroes. So the film is about one of their like most iconic heroes.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
One more question. What are the one. Oh, okay.
When first time I met Brennan, I had bought the Dino Charge blaster, the Sentai one, the Gobble revolver, and I had painted 3 of them to look like the show. And when I ran into Brennan, he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is literally what we used in the show." And I was like, "Really? You used the toy?" He was, "Yeah." He's like, "They never let me keep one." I was like, "Well, I have 3. Do you want one?" And he was like, "No, I can't do that, man." Brennan's super nice, but I let him keep one, and we shot a film with Ciara Hanna, and that's the one he used for that shoot, and like now he uses it everywhere. So, kind of.
So my second question is, what are the companies where you can actually make like the sets and actually do like your own film? Because I know there's like classes for that, but like, do you know like any of the places where you can do that?
You're looking for like a job opportunity?
Something like that, because there are like people that do have ideas.
There's prop shop houses that are usually looking for volunteers as interns. I know Funko Studios, that's close to Highland Park. They usually have openings for prop makers, so that's something to look into.
Well, I live in Illinois, so I'm not exactly sure where.
Okay. Oh well, I don't know. Well, the shops I know are like here.
Right, I know.
But dude, I'm sure there's like production studios everywhere. that
Okay.
have
I
those
was just
little
wondering
props.
if each state had one or something.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot of filmmakers,
Okay.
especially like indie filmmakers that look for prop makers. So I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there's
Okay.
out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and colleges too. Yeah.
Your name and your question?
Hey, I'm Anthony, and I photograph toys, so I make small little sets to shoot them on. What are some things that you guys do, maybe in your cosplay or other work, to add dimension, whether it be lighting or foreground, background things? What can you tell me about that?
A lot of fog machines. This dude, man, oh my gosh, fog machines is his like world. Well, when we film our fan films and stuff, the one we just did, I mean, that fog machine was like its own credit. It should get its own credit, how much we use. So ambience is a big deal. Lighting, I know Danny's a huge fan of like the blue. He loves blue lighting. I think I'm stealing his answer. I feel like I just stole your answer. I'm sorry, because he's looking right at me, so I feel like I'm supposed to answer the question.
Well, I mean, like, it depends on the prop or the little figures. What makes the texture bounce.
Right.
So it like die cast a lot of like white light makes that bounce. Depending on the shades of color as well. But if you're compositing and doing like a VFX and you want like a sword to glow, you fill the room with whatever's the opposite color of whatever you want that to glow. So it's a lot of composition to like it's its own art. Photography, it's its own art on itself. But yeah.
There's times when I've just used my washer and dryer as the backdrop because it's white and I just want the item to stand out. And the washer is just solid and it has this reflective surface. It's so simple. It gets the job done, and I just put like a white backdrop to square it off, to block out the background. And then there's times when I really will go out and I'll find like a nice lake or a rock struck like a stream. And I feel like sometimes when I overdo it, it's like I want it to do well. And I was like, wow, that one I did with just the washing machine in my garage. Like,
and sometimes too, like if for like a prop piece or something, I like weathering a lot. And weathering also makes certain dimensions pop on the prop, or airbrush. I've recently touched airbrush, and you can also make those details pop. With just a simple little airbrush. Dimension I think is what gives the prop that pop. But yeah, lighting.
or just wearing it. You're wearing it.
I don't know how rudimentary this is, but I was going to say more than one light source. I don't remember what they're called, but those little tiny boxes where you can set it to like a couple different light colors and maybe like give it a little bit of a flash and change the consistency of the flash.
Accent lighting. Yeah.
Accent lighting, like those are amazingly helpful just for, again, dimension, because you got, your white lights in the front and they're however muted or warm you need them to be to accent what you're doing. But then if you can put like a little orange in the background or a little blue in the background, hide it behind something so like the background also has like an accent that makes you stand out and it creates dimension.
Definitely, accent lighting, and also you working with dioramas and miniatures. The lenses, the focal on the lens can help create that depth for sure.
Yeah, I'm only shooting at like 45 millimeter, so it's not close enough. But
Yeah, they sell some of those pancake lenses that definitely get you to about 2.0, where you get a little bit of a distance between things.
thank you very much.
Your name and your question, sir?
My name is James, and my question will only make sense. I have like 30-second backstory to my question. Okay, so the year is 2016. It's my first Power Morphicon, and I made a costume, and I wanted to wear it at the convention. So I was a Kamen Rider costume. I made this costume, and I put it on the first day I was going to go out to the convention. I had it on. I went down the elevator, barely made it out of the door of the hotel to walk to the convention, and it broke. Basically, it was, armor plating made from EVA foam and, had stretchy nylon straps holding the armor together, hot glued to the foam, and that just gave way. Luckily, I was able to fix it before the cosplay convention, but I just want to know, is there a better way? Is there a better way?
Can I chime in on here? So years and years ago when I did do cosplay, a lot of my effort went into stress testing. So sometimes, like we did, there's cosplay and we did a lot of performances in cosplay. It wouldn't look pretty, but I would use hot glue, super glue, some matching colored duct tape just to make it last the whole weekend. It's not pretty, and if you can make it where you can't see it, and it's definitely gonna help you last the whole convention.
Yeah, I always travel with a hot glue gun to conventions because I don't do stress testing. I like to skip steps. I'm a fool. So when the first time you wear something, there are going to be parts where you're pushing on it a certain way, or it snags when you move, or even just like the consistent movement over the course of the day is going to cause something to pop. And I feel like just having something with you so that you can fix that quickly. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to hold together. But yeah, that's kind of how I deal with that. Is like, if it breaks, I'm going to hot glue it, and it'll last the day.
Thank you, guys.
Hello. So, when you're in the design stage...
What's your name?
Hunter.
Hunter, nice to meet you, Hunter.
Thank you. When we're in the design stage of building these costumes, and then you're in the actual building process, I'm going to assume that there are times when the elements of the design just don't work in the practical sense, like how you just think they're going to. So, is there ever been like, what's your kind of process for going about that? Is it kind of, well, okay, we're just gonna have to scrap that because the design just doesn't work in reality, or I can do it, but maybe like in a cheaper way, less flashy than I imagined, or is it kind of just going like, no, I can do this, I'm just gonna hyperfixate on this for the next like 2 days before I can actually get this working? Like, what's your kind of process for doing this?
So the not pretty part of cosplay that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is that you will have mental breakdowns while you are working on your cosplay. You absolutely will. It doesn't matter how simple it is. It doesn't matter how confident you are. It doesn't matter if you've done the technique before. I've had 5 mental breakdowns working on something before. I'm like, I can't go on. I can't go on with my life. What is it? Why am I doing this? What is the point of anything? She knows, because we did it while we were making that last week. So like, if a thing isn't working, you don't want to just like beat your head into the wall, like trying to make it work. So there's a fine line between like figuring out physics-wise, this just isn't going to do it, and I need to go back to the drawing board. But there's also the aspect of like, you will want to give up just because your like vision is blurred and your hands are tired and you feel like it's not working because you haven't gotten to the point yet where you can see, the end of the path. So it's good to have a cosplay buddy, just someone reliable who you could maybe text at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I want to burn my cosplay in the middle of my yard. And they will say, no, it's going to look great. Just, stop working on it for tonight, get some sleep, drink some water, start up again tomorrow. Having someone
just
to
walk
be
away for a bit.
Yeah,
So
You need that person to tell you.
You need somebody who's like your weightlifting buddy, your cosplay buddy. And like, for example, back to this item, because we're almost done. I was working on this for over a year, designing this, and I finally came up with a design that I liked. It worked, and then that night, it worked, but I scrapped it and completely rebuilt it from scratch again overnight. But because I was able to, I took a step back, I showed him what worked and then what I didn't like about it, and then 6 months later, I picked the project back up. And then I came up with a completely new design because I had a fresh take on it. Like, hey, maybe try this. Maybe don't give up on it, but maybe try tweaking it here, here, and here. And then I came up with this version. This is my design, guys. I totally made this from scratch. every item.
I can confirm. I saw some
It's
some
true. I
photos.
was there for every step of and every version of it.
Doubling down, tripling down on what Beauty said. You have to have a corner, someone in your corner, multiple people. In her case, her family.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys have any more questions,
We have time for the one. If you still have a question, we can get to your
Yeah,
question,
one
and
more
then
question.
that's the last one.
Yeah.
They're kicking us out.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm unfortunately a perfectionist. So, what tips do you have when it comes to sewing? Because I think that's like the most efficient way of making cosplays.
One more time, he was saying something to me. When it comes to sewing, what?
How do you? What are the things you use to build your confidence? Because I'm unfortunately a perfectionist, so if it doesn't look right, I just want to throw it out immediately.
I have found a lot of times, again, like keeping at it, but also like not beating your head into a wall. There are a lot of times where I'm working on something and you're like 50% done and you hate it. You absolutely hate it. And the knowledge that if I keep working on it and maybe just add like a couple more aspects, I will start to see the vision and then I will realize that it's working and that it's okay and it's gonna look good. But sewing is it's just repetition and practice and also understanding your sewing machine. I started oiling my sewing machine this year. First time I ever oiled a sewing machine, people. That's important if you don't own a sewing machine. So yeah, actually understanding your sewing machine, taking care of it, cleaning it and oiling it, because it'll get all like weird and lumpy if you don't, and it messes things up. But then just like, a lot of cosplayers say, do a practice first with a fabric that you're not like sold on. I of course never do that because again, I'm foolish. The first one I do is the one I'm using. But yeah, practicing things is really good. I get a lot of practice sewing because I alter a lot of my clothes to like make them bigger, or shorter, or smaller, or whatever. But yeah, repetition is really good. And man, being a perfectionist is really hard. There's not like good advice like don't be a perfectionist. That's not gonna work. That's not helpful. But I guess yeah, just trust the process. Know that you're gonna get it and it will look good. And just be kind to yourself.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the panel. Thank you to our amazing panelists. They'll be here all weekend, correct? So if you guys have any more questions, find them on the floor. And you guys have a great weekend.